Hey everybody, Kriss here. Welcome on a Friday afternoon. How's everybody doing? I'm hanging in there, getting better, but I'm here. Even though painful price action, well, somebody else called it painful, but I think I kind of agree as well. Up and down trading, that's what we have for the summer, was completely expected. Some people getting all worked up about a little bit of a run in the price, and it's just like, no, not yet. Not yet, guys, not yet. There's been a lot of negativity, particularly on the Bitcoin side. What's going on with Germany, United States selling, Genesis selling, ETFs up and down. But overall, hey, could be worse. We could be in the 8s or 5s, like some of you are saying, but we're not. Still above 10.5 cents is support still. Bumped it a couple times, once last night, once this morning, still 10.5. Support for Doge. Bitcoin 57.6. Again, up and down. As soon as it starts getting some momentum, market makers bring it down. Nope, cannot have those leverage traders making money. Cannot have that. So the exchanges and the market makers are still in control, still manipulate the price. And I'm sure we're going to see Bitcoin all the way back down here in the 56s again to take out all of those leveraged longs that were betting on Bitcoin to keep going up here. And they're just going to take them out. So that's what we got, back and forth and back and forth. But it will not last that long. I guarantee it, not going to last that long. Even JP Morgan is saying August crypto prices. I mean, JP Morgan is getting in on the crypto price prediction bandwagon, saying August prices are going to go up. I mean, okay, I'll go along with JP Morgan. They think crypto prices are going to go up in August. I'm all for it. Let's accumulate now. Let's pick up as much as we can at these prices for just, what, 2 or 3 more weeks. And then let's go. Let's get this over with. And let's go. That's what I say. So a little bit of cheerleader here, but not today. No, we still have a little pain to endure. We still have some dips happening. And that's what we got. So let me drop down here in the corner, get the charts nice and big. And I got a few news articles to cover. And then we're going to have today, and we're going to do this on Fridays, we're going to have AMAs. AMA, ask me anything. Doesn't have to be crypto related. We can get into other stuff on a Friday. Fridays are usually pretty chill, pretty relaxed. But of course, we want to cover crypto, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, other memes, other things going on. And then we'll have some fun with an AMA. Happy Friday to Ron. Thank you. Hello, Joseph. Kriss time is here. I am doing better. You can probably hear it in my voice, although there's still a little raspiness. But I can at least breathe now. It's kind of important. Kind of important that you know the breathing side of things. You just got back from vacation? Just jonesing, how are you? Markets will not go up, no pump, no one has money, hard times for everyone. And that's what I talked about in this morning's video, if you saw, is that compared to where we were in 2020, 4 years ago, to where we are today, 2020, I mean, the printer mill was running. They were sending out checks to everybody. Remember that? Remember that? Everybody's getting checks from the government, extra money, stimmy checks, little stimulus, right? And what were you doing with stimmy checks? A lot of people were just putting them into the markets, into the stock market, into the crypto market. And that ramped up through 2020 into 2021. But now, that money's all gone. It's all spent. Those that had it in savings, gone. Inflation, joblessness has wiped out most people's savings. Cost of everything is more. So jonesing has it right. I mean, some of us have been able to, maintain a decent quality of life. We have a good enough job that pays well enough. We haven't overextended in terms of our housing, in terms of fancy cars and unnecessary vacations and other spending, right? Kept in the means, and we're doing okay. Some of us have been able to do that. But more and more, the percentages are ticking up on those that are falling on hard times. Having to squeeze the budget, no extra money, no extra income, because you gotta at least eat, right? You got to bring food in. You got to pay your bills to maintain your housing, keep the power on, those things. Some overextended by having big loans for fancy cars, buying too big of a house, you got a big mortgage. People should have seen that coming with all those stimulus checks. Like, the good times were not going to last forever, right? Good times weren't going to last forever. So here we are, and the pump's not going to happen now because exactly, there's not a ton of retail money to come into the market right now. Now, will that turn around in the next couple months? There are many who think that will happen. I mean, JP Morgan say in August, and if they think markets are going to go up in August, then somebody's coming into the market buying. I think most of us in crypto don't have a ton of money sitting on the side. It's all in, right? I mean, who's got like thousands of dollars sitting on the sidelines waiting for a dip? Most of us were already in. I know I am. I'm all in. I got no buying power. I got no cash sitting there just waiting. So I'm not even hoping for a bigger dip, even for you guys, right? That might have a few extra bucks waiting for a big dip. I'm like, no, I would just love to see it go up. And just like Jonesing says, right? I hope I'm wrong. I would love to see a pump. I would too. I'd love to see a pump. But right now, there's nothing supporting a pump, particularly in Dogecoin right now. Nothing supporting it. And we still have the negative pressure on Bitcoin with the selling going on. Germany's almost done. But if they still have like 1,000 Bitcoin, I mean, that's still a lot of money. But yeah, where's the money going to come from? Where's the new money going to come from? ETH ETF might help. That'll get some excitement going. Doge will generally follow, again, the market. That doesn't help Doge any in particular. There's nothing else really going on right now. We look forward to maybe the September FOMC meeting to have interest rates reduced, because it's probably not happening the end of this month, the next FOMC. As I've been saying, nope. People are going to get all hyped up about it. Oh, the inflation numbers are down. Economy is looking better. And then they're going to get all disappointed when Jerome Powell says exactly what he thinks, what we think he's already going to say. Need a little more data, right? Need a little more data before we make that decision. So that'll delay it till September, which is actually, I think, the last one before the US presidential election. Not that politics is involved or anything, but I've been talking about September for quite some time, that would be the one. And it's looking more and more like it. So we'll see. Can Doge hit 20 cents in September? So September could be a frothy month. That could be. If we get a little bit of a head start in August and we get rate cuts in September, we could see Bitcoin go on a run back up into the 70s, and Doge could maybe come up to that 20-cent range. Maybe. We will watch that. We will watch that. Hey, Matt, how are you? Any word from SpaceX? So, again, the SpaceX piece of Doge 1, and I think that's what you're talking about, right? Is the Doge 1 part, because that's the one that's really tied to Dogecoin. SpaceX has regular rockets that take off and bring stuff up into space. So it's not anything on the SpaceX side that's the problem. They have spaceships that they use. Those are the rockets that take stuff into space. So now you got to look at Geometric Energy and Astrobotic. Geometric Energy is the one who is managing the Doge 1 project. They're the ones who have already paid SpaceX to take a ride on a rocket to get up into space. And Geometric has partnered with Astrobotic, who's actually making the satellite. We know the satellite is made. We've seen pictures of it, but they're futzing with it, though. They're updating stuff. They want the latest, the greatest, and all of that. So the satellite isn't completely updated for going on the real ride. So they built it. They did some testing. They weren't happy with it. It didn't go up in January like we all thought it was going to. So there was no Doge 1. Still exists, though. Geometric is still already paid SpaceX for the ride. Many think that's going to happen in December. But Astrobotic has to get all their testing done on their satellite, get it all worked out, how they're going to charge for the advertising. You know, the adverts, they're British. The adverts, gotta get the adverts, got to get that all worked out. And they also had to get a license in order to do their laser communications from the moon back to Earth. Apparently that's all in place. They've got their FCC space license in place. So this can all work. So let's go, right? Let's get it all done. Let's box up that Astrobotic satellite, send it to Florida, get it all set to go on a spaceship, get it scheduled, and let's do it. Maybe December. We will see. Yes, for those joining, we will have an AMA. It'll be a new Friday thing with an AMA after we get through crypto stuff, and we'll have some fun. It's a Friday, you know. I'd love to be having a drink right now, but still recovering, and alcohol just is not the best for trying to keep the sinuses clear, keep the congestion away. So I'm alcohol free on a Friday today. But I'm doing better, thanks. I don't swing trade or trade on leverage. Don't click on phishing links, all good. What threat level am I for being scammed if I left my Dogecoin on Robinhood? I mean, 99% safe, I would say, Matt. Because with Robinhood, you know, again, Robinhood is an app on your phone. So if somebody did a SIM swap on your phone, because that's about the biggest thing that could probably happen, would be a SIM swap on your phone. But then they would have to know your little key in, right, to get into Robinhood. And then if they wanted to execute something, do a transfer, they would have to, if you've got, say, Google Authenticator on, well, they could access that if they have your phone spoofed. But they wouldn't know how to access Robinhood because you've got to always key in the, your PIN. So they wouldn't know that unless you had it written somewhere on a note. So I'd say that's pretty good. And as exchanges go, Robinhood is probably one that is probably the safest as they go. I don't hear of scammers getting into people's Robinhood accounts. I hear it on Coinbase. I don't hear it on Robinhood. So again, it sounds like you're doing all the right things. As for Dogecoin on X, yes, that would be huge if it happens, because that opens up a whole new world to the use of Dogecoin. That's the utility that we've been waiting for, the real huge, big utility of Dogecoin, whether it's just tipping or it's, buying things on the platform, transferring money person to person, doing it in Doge. Just like we talked on Monday about immigrants coming to America and actually buying Dogecoin and then transferring Dogecoin to their relatives in other countries like Venezuela, because Dogecoin is cheap and it's international. And the transfer is done in a minute, wallet to wallet. Yeah, I know, Jason. I see that. Painful. We'll get into the painful article in just a minute. Yeah, is this thing on? Can you hear me now? I'm not hating, just everyone has been hyping these coins. I know. Well, you've been here though, haven't you? Hopefully you've been here. Because I wasn't saying we would have these huge gains this fall or this summer. I said, no, skip the summer. Summer is just not going to happen. So it's just not the time. And we see it right here. I mean, this is it. Every time you get a little momentum, it just pulls right back. Market makers are in control. You would put it into Doge. Yeah, some of us are all in. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Doing better. Rocky's all in. Yep. Ryan is all in. Put the last monies in at 10 cents. We're all in. Mars is all in. We're all in, guys. Mike Rhodes, all in. So now, I mean, this is where the painful part just hurts, right? It's just like, come on, guys, let's go. But we know it's still summertime. And eventually to the moon. Ryan, how are you? Would love to see a pump in FOMO. Organic growth is normally what you want. Election cycle will likely have a big effect. And that's typically what we see is global liquidity on the cycles that coincide with the US presidential elections. They're going to do the quantitative easing, have the money printer going. They want everybody to feel good about the economy going into the election. And markets usually do well. So that is what we're just about to go into, is that phase. So we continue to wait. Just bought 13,000 Doge this morning. Awesome, Matt. Hey, Hiram, how are you? Alcohol is frothy. Alcohol actually tastes good in the fall. Yes. Get that Oktoberfest brews going. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. And my preferred beverage, it's an early AMA question. A little early. We haven't gone through the crypto stuff yet. But on the liquor side, I'm a Jack Daniels fan. Generally stick to beers, though. And yep, sell off again. Every time. Yep, Damien, get a little trend line going and then boop. So JP Morgan says August. So I'll go with that. Not happening in July. We are still doing better than we were many, many months ago. Hey, a year ago, Doge was at 6-7 cents. So we're still up. And on January 1st, we were at 7.5. We're still up. I know we have memories of 22 cents. They're right there. They're right there. That was a good time to sell in retrospect, right? That was the swing trade move, was to sell at 22 and then buy back in at 10. But who knew it would drop this far? Who knew? Right, still up 37% for the year. I mean, it's not as much as some other coins have done, but not bad. You like the summer ales too? Yeah, and just jonesing all in as well. And yes, they are trying to shake people out. They want you to be afraid. They want you to sell. This is all part of the institutions now wanting to take over everything financial. They don't want us guys winning. They want to control it all. They control the stock market completely. We play along as best we can for our little bits, but we're not in control. And crypto seems to be heading in that direction. Again, we'll see when the big run starts this fall, like I'm expecting. And is retail still going to be able to drive prices? I don't know. So what's going on with Dogecoin's painful price action? So that's the theme of the day, is painful, right? Are we feeling pain? Now, I know there are some of you who bought Doge a long time ago, and we're still up. Like me, I got my 2-cent Doge. I'm up on that. Now, I did buy some Doge after it was at 22 cents on the way down. If you remember, I bought some at 17. I bought some at 15 or 14. And I bought some at 12. And all of that Doge that I bought, I'm down on now. I mean, it's not as anywhere near as much Doge as I accumulated last year. That was all in the 6 to 7 cent range, which I'm up on all of that. So overall, I am in the green on my average Doge stash. But if I'd put it all in Solana instead, I'd be up a lot more. But Doge goes when Doge goes. And so we wait. And yeah, my video earlier today, the 2024 run may not be as profitable as 2021. That's correct. That narrative can still play out, particularly for Dogecoin. If nothing else happens with Dogecoin is not seeing 70 cents again. It's just not going to happen. There's not going to be enough momentum to get Doge going. It needs Elon saying, I am accepting Dogecoin for Tesla cars. Boom. Okay, now we're talking. Or, hey, Dogecoin is accepted on X payments. Integrated into X. Boom. Okay, there we go. Without that, Doge is just going to kind of flounder along. Which, if you saw my video back on January 1st, what was my 2024 price prediction for Doge? That hasn't changed. It's still the same. It's still in play. Exactly the same. But now we've got pain. Pain going on this summer. Many of you are frustrated. Again, no, Ryan. No, that was not. That's the incorrect answer from my January 1st video. Jason remembers. Trader Altcoin Sherpa in his latest tweet pointed out that it is painful to see Dogecoin retrace a majority of its move and head back to value. He added that the meme coin has lost its 200-week EMA. This indicator tells traders, investors, average closing price of the stock, which is very low. He thinks Doge will do big numbers later this year, but right now, it's painful. Another trader. What is the key level to hold? This is Crypto Tony. And Crypto Tony says, 10.6 cents is the level to hold this week. I call it 10.5. That's my support line is 10.5. But he's zoomed out a little more. He's on, this looks like a weekly chart here. And he's like, yeah, 10.6 here, guys. 10.6. Trader Crypto Mac predicted Doge on the daily chart. Looks like it's ready for the next leg up, but not yet. Current price is trapped inside the range. Altcoins will fly soon. That's easy to say, but there's nothing backing that up on the news side right now. So we need to endure pain for a little bit more, unfortunately. So Dogecoin, can $1,000 of Doge become $1 million by 2028? So these articles are still out there, right? There's still some moon boys out there saying Dogecoin is still going to be huge. I mean, it gets readers, right? Gets people to click on the articles when you say stuff like this. We got a lot of this stuff on YouTube, like all the moon boys, right? And you see it video after video after video with their huge open mouth faces and rocket ships. And I'm just like, it's not worth it to even talk about this stuff. It's not even worth talking about it. Now, once Doge actually goes to the moon, the actual Dogecoin, that'll be big if that does eventually happen. That'll be worth talking about. The Doge 1 satellite, that'll be worth talking about. But this, The power of memes in crypto. Dogecoin was a success, yes. I mean, that's 2021 was all about Dogecoin and the meme. A lot of hopium there. A lot of Elon support. That was pretty exciting. From January to May of 2021 was very exciting. But since then, there've been a few moments here and there. When Elon bought Twitter, that was a big day. Pretty exciting. A few other nice blips along the way. But overall, Floki has ridden on Doge's coattails. I mean, the Floki group, they're doing some good things, right? The developers building stuff. But in the end, it's still only there because of Dogecoin. Pepe's doing its own thing. I mean, they really bought or made a token on a meme that took off over a year ago and is pretty big. Down 4.3% right now. And Sheeb, of course, was the big one that followed Doge's coattails and took off crazy. But then we had Bonk, which was built on Solana, and then Whiff built on Solana. Bonk has been up and down, huge numbers, but still up overall. I don't go chasing meme tokens before they're already established. I don't play that game. Again, I call that a needle in a haystack. So good luck. If you're trying to chase some of those, you don't know which ones are going to make it. Dogecoin whale accumulation surges. So this is one thing that we do see is when the prices are low, we get some of these wallets fattening up, getting bigger and bigger. Whale activity. And there's people who look at it and look at how much of the large wallets are getting bigger and how many more large wallets are there. And that is particularly true when you have this accumulation happening. Well, I mean, we had all of this, right? 2022, 2023, into 2024, we had all that time where Dogecoin was trading below 9 cents. I mean, that was huge accumulation. And we were buying a ton down here last summer, remember? That's where most of our accumulation was coming, was last summer. That's when I was fattening up my wallets. Was all of that last summer. We are not down back at those levels. But overall, still not a great looking chart. That's on the weekly. On the daily, showing signs of recovery, but there hasn't been that move back up yet that has held for Doge. That's what I was predicting here later in July, is that we would have, and I was tying it to the ETH ETFs, that we would have a recovery and then we would hold that recovery through the rest of the month. And that was closing the month at 13 cents. Still in play for July. We're not even halfway through yet. So we could still see that. But not yet. Yes, more pain. Looking at this, the daily chart is painful from 17 all the way down to 10. And that's in a pretty short period of time. And we're not recovering back up. Not right now. So Dogecoin price prediction, Elon Musk's comments on Biden stir market sentiment. I don't think so. I mean, this was Doge designer basically saying, look, every time I see Biden speaking, I wonder how this man became president of America. And Elon says late stage civilization vibes. How did the Dogecoin price react? A closer look at the charts reveals that Musk's statement has had a negligible impact on the Dogecoin price. Of course, it's like, why write the stupid article then? Because they got to write something. It's the summertime. Things are dull. Things are boring. You guys can hear the landscapers out on the sidewalk. Sorry about that. They got to keep the city looking clean. A warning heeded by other experts who note that Dogecoin and Shiba Inu have seen much of their attention sucked out by other meme coins, reflected in the recent disappointing price action. Ugh. And we talked about this last week about how the competition for attention of meme investors has taken away from Dogecoin, and it has. Heard of many who have sold their Dogecoin going chasing these other memes. But none of them have Elon behind them. So we wait for Elon to do the real thing, right? We wait for him to do the real thing. And we're not there yet. So that's what we have overall right now. Green candle coming back. See, it's not all down, Jason. It's not quite all down. Hey, Joseph, been buying $200 in Doge, $100 in Bitcoin, and then $100 in some random crypto. Every payday, last 3 years, don't plan to sell. Not a bad strategy. That's not a bad strategy. That's sort of DCAing into what you like. That's not bad. Through the whole, bear market and through this kind of semi-bearish pullback, this is good. Good to accumulate. JD says, I'll be honest, I never thought Doge would go this low. Not again. I didn't think we would get back to 9 cents. It's like, God. But what happened when Doge hit 9.9 cents? I bought some more. Scraped some together to buy some more. Come on, 9.9 cent Dogecoin? That's a gift. In 2024, to me, that's a gift. People view this retracement as painful. I enjoy it. I need as much time as I can to accumulate. Yep. Jason reminds us that Doge is the people's currency, and that's what Elon says. Again, if you saw my Elon Musk compilation video from last weekend, he says it himself. He supports Dogecoin because the people, the ones working the line at Tesla and SpaceX, they want Elon to support Dogecoin. Elon says, I will support Dogecoin. And he does have the platform to use it, both with X and Tesla, on a big scale. That would be great to see. It's just not happening today. We need Elon for the big run for Doge. Doge can move on its own, and we've seen that. But in order to make the big money that many of us would love to see in Dogecoin, it's an Elon event, yes. Any news on SEC versus Robinhood? There's been no follow-up after the Wells notice. I think the SEC got a slap pretty hard for their recent lawsuits and waste of the taxpayers' money on pursuing things that they shouldn't have pursued in the first place. Hey, Joel, how are you? Elon is supporting Doge because his employees asked him to. Yes, exactly. These are the people that he depends on and cares about. That's enough for me too. Exactly. Exactly. Jason has 1 million Dogecoin. That is persistence. Persistence in a DCA strategy to make it to 1 million. That's awesome. The thing that gets to me, we all know that Biden has some sort of mental issues a few years back. If we knew that, they knew that. Who is really running the country? And there are many, many conspiracy theories on X Twitter that talk about that all the time. There was this hope that maybe, seeing all the attention that Trump was getting on the crypto side, that maybe Biden and the administration would maybe not piss off all the crypto bros. But no, not going to happen. Yeah, I don't know about that, Mike. I mean, the Twitter layoffs were needed, and those weren't Elon's people. He took over a company that was over bloated. Those weren't Elon's people. And in any business, there are teams that do need to be disbanded. That's just a part of business. Let's go. That's what I say. That's going to happen in August. We'll wait for August. These two little candles here on the 15-minute chart, yeah, they're not going to be much. Yes, Joshua, thank you. Feeling better. Yeah, music reel, July, right? Will the ETH ETF launch by July 15th? I say yes, it's looking like next week we could see the ETH ETF launch. It looks like the filers have updated their S1 forms, everything they need. I haven't heard the exchanges all being notified. That will be the next thing. Maybe we'll see that on Monday. And if we do see that on Monday, then Tuesday could be ETH ETF starting. Will alts pump because of it? I would think that we would have a little pump before it starts, but then once it actually is going on, that pump will turn into a pullback most likely. And then we wait and see what the flows look like. How much actual buying is going on. And this Grayscale Futures, ETH Futures fund, which is being converted into the spot ETF, are they going to be selling like we saw on the Bitcoin spot? That's the next thing you're going to hear is Grayscale on the ETH side. And all of those that were tied up in that futures thing, whatever it was, are going to start selling. And then we're going to have that whole thing going on. But again, for Bitcoin, there was a momentary setback. But then when the BlackRocks and the Fidelities, they got all their clients to start buying Bitcoin ETFs, are we going to see the same thing happen with ETH? I don't know. I don't know what the appetite is going to be for ETH. Outside of everybody who's already in the crypto world, who outside knows what Ethereum even is? They hear about Bitcoin. Bitcoin's on the news. People kind of generally have an understanding that there's this thing called Bitcoin. But Ethereum, what the hell's Ethereum? Most people outside of crypto have no clue. Exactly, sell the news. This is one of those things that's just right set up for a buy the rumor, sell the news thing, in my opinion. Absolutely. Unfortunately, I would prefer it not be, but again, I'm a realist here, and I sit here just telling you what I think based on my experience and what I've seen, and I'm like, yeah, it's not going to be the big pump people think it's going to be when the ETH ETF starts. A little pump, yes. And I'd love to see the BlackRocks and the Fidelities and the ARKs and stuff get all their clients buying a ton of ETH ETFs. That'll be awesome. It's just not going to happen anything like we saw with Bitcoin. It's just not the same thing. And you can't get staking on it. That was going to be the big thing, right? Is like you could buy the ETH ETF and then you would get staking rewards. Nope. SEC put a stop to that. Absolutely not. Not going to happen. So that ETH can't be staked. DCA and HODL till December. Not a bad strategy. We think prices will be higher in December than they are today. So we wait. And then we start analyzing where are we at the end of the year? Is there going to be a big Santa rally? And then what does that mean going into end of the year, into the new year, 2025? Again, if you look at the 4-year cycles, the peaks in crypto aren't until the next year after the presidential election. So if you sold in December, you may be missing out on some possible profits in 2025. So we'll see what prices are doing and make decisions based on taking profits at that time. And now I've been talking almost for an hour straight, and I haven't hardly talked in 4 days. So sorry about that. People are saying Doge will never cross 20 cents again. Ever? I don't know. Ever is a long time. Like never, ever? Right. As Dogecoin says, it's just a matter of time. Eventually it will. Things do go up. Price will go up. It's just when. Will it be by the end of the year? Or like Joel saying 90 cents to $1, $1.20? Rocky says, hey, I'll be happy with 90 cents. I would be too, but yeah, when? How long? How long will that take? When's Elon going to get his act together and actually do something? Instead of all of the little hints and statements, we need action, Elon. We need action. Otherwise, it's just up and down, more pain, little gains. Are we going to drop down to 9 cents again, Yeely asks. Well, I believe there are some who would like to see another dip. And as we zoom out and we look at what the market makers are up to, this flattening out here, right? The leverage trading isn't really doing much, over the past 5 days as this just kind of flattens out. So there will be some volatility that'll happen. Most likely. We see that with trading. We'll start to see a run up, and then you'll get the leverage traders being greedy, right? Betting, okay, this is going to be the big run now. I'm going to put millions of dollars on leverage longs, and then the price will dump like we saw back here. And they'll dump it. So will it drop below this 10-cent line again? We'll see. It would be based on something like that. Jason wants to ask the Magic 8 Ball. Yes, we will ask the Magic 8 Ball that question. You believe Doge is the people's currency? I do too. It can be. There are many who don't want it to be that. You think September might be a realistic time when we start seeing the next leg up, right? JP Morgan said August. I've always been saying September, but we'll see. Can I look at the singularity chart? Explain why it's been dropping 20% up, 20% down. Singularity is having issues with this whole conversion over to fetch and the new, AI thing. So I haven't looked at the, I haven't had the price, look at the price lately on what's going on. There's no volume on that because they stopped it. So yeah, it depends on what chart you're on, right? Bybit? No. Gate.io is still, nope, they converted it too. So I don't know who's still trading Singularity. It's being delisted on all these platforms because of the conversion over to the fetch. So FET is the token that Singularity got converted over to. So depending on what you're seeing, I mean, it's all in FETs now, and you should have done your conversion. If it was on Coinbase, then you just needed to sell it. Because Coinbase wasn't going to do the automatic transition over to fetch, FET, which then becomes whatever they call it on on this, the Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. Artificial Superintelligence Alliance is still FET, eventually will become some other name, but Fetch, Singularity, and Ocean Protocol have collaborated to establish the Superintelligence Alliance. All tokens will be consolidated to create a universal AI token, the dollar ASI. That's eventually what it's going to become. For those trading AGIX or the Singularity token still today, there's very limited places you can trade it. And it's completely manipulated because there's no liquidity left for trading it, because most people's got converted over to this. So now there's, and I don't even know how the max supply is going to end up being affected here. 2.6 billion Fetch tokens. Again, I don't follow it enough. I took my Fetch AI profits last year and I did not buy back in to this. So I didn't follow it close enough to see what the deal was on that. I lost my dark mode. Get that back. Hey, Dogecoin is still in 9th place here. I mean, the gap is narrowing a bit with Cardano. Like I said, watch out for Cardano, because Cardano is going to start moving up. And now we're seeing it. Probably next week, we may be talking about a flippening happening with Cardano passing over Dogecoin. Nobody else is talking about this, and this is probably the first you've heard of it, is right here. But I did talk about that on Friday last week, and then here I am again on this Friday, and it's starting to look more real that we're going to see Cardano flip Dogecoin. So be prepared for it. It's coming. Cardano. Look at that, up 17.5% for the week is Cardano. Doge up 2.5%. So yeah, Cardano closing the gap. You have it in your Coinbase wallet. So if you've got AGIX, the Singularity token in your Coinbase wallet, I heard there was a way in Coinbase wallet you could do the exchange for Fetch. You just couldn't do it if you had just had it sitting on the exchange. But I don't know how that works. You'll have to look at that. I don't know. I don't know. Is the DXY going down? I haven't really looked at the DXY lately. 104. It's up and down. It's now on a down phase. I mean, here it was in April at 104. Here it was in May at 104. Here it was in June at 104. And now here we are in July at 104. Up and down. All right. I think it's AMA time because Johnny B's got a great question. AMA time, guys. Let's have some fun with it. What's on your mind? Outside of crypto, because this is just going to be up and down like a bouncing ball. Oh, first, I have the important question on the 8-ball. Sorry, I need to get the 8-ball out of the way first. Jason, thank you. 8-ball question. Will there be X payments this year? Will there be X payments this year? So the latest news, breaking news, guys, today. They got their money transmitter license for California. Yes, they got the California state money transmitter license for X payments. They're now up to 33 states, 33. New York's going to be the tough one. But Elon said, he said both California and New York were going to be tough. And they got California today. So yeah, Cali's big. So the question, X payments this year, Magic 8 Ball. Shake it up. Concentrate and ask again. Concentrate and ask again. All right. So we all have to concentrate now because the Magic 8 Ball said, ask again and concentrate. So again, stupid Magic 8 Ball. X payments this year, yes or no? Got energy being sent. Magic 8 Ball says it's on its side. Most likely. Most likely. Can't quite see that. Most likely. Magic 8 Ball says most likely. So there it is. There's your answer. X payments this year, most likely. Magic 8 Ball said it right here on the Kriss Pax live stream. What's the connection between GME and Dogecoin? That's just meme trading behavior is all. There's no connection. It's just kind of like the meme money, right? If GameStop went crazy and like doubled in price, Doge would probably get a pump out of it, even if there wasn't anything specific about Dogecoin. That's all. All right, AMA time. Oh, first, Yeely's got a check mark next to his name. Cheers, Yeely. Welcome to the family. For those wondering about those who have their names in green and check marks next to their name, that means they have joined the channel, of which here, there's the members. You become a member of the Kriss Pax channel, and you can join if you want to by clicking the join button there. You'll join the channel. You'll get a check mark next to your name, and you'll get to use a bunch of custom emojis that we have already in play, and we'll add more emojis as more new members join the channel. I appreciate the subscription. Subscribe, yes, thank you. Like the stream, I like that. Yeah, you'll be red next. After purple, you'll get to red. And red is kind of like a bronze, right? And then silver, and then gold. We have one member who's almost a gold. We have one, almost a gold. And I think there's a couple, maybe one or other silver. So, yeah, so the colors represent how long you've been a member. And so if you're silver or gold, that means you've been with me a long time. So that's what that's about. But join, and then you then are eligible to receive the Dogecoin that is in this Kriss Pax DCA portfolio. where at the top of the bull market, I'll be giving out this Dogecoin. I don't remember what the exact time is for the red check mark between how many months and how many months. I don't remember. 6 months, you think, Ryan? Yeah, I don't remember off the top of my head. But it sounds right, though. 6 months. And then at 9 months, I think maybe you move up. And then it's a year, and then it's 2 years. But yes, I'm giving away this Dogecoin, the top of the bull market, to our family members who've joined the channel. I'm giving away that Doge. These other coins I'm going to be selling and taking the profit on. Hopefully it's more than just $10,000. We're up right now, 9,500. It was nicer a couple months ago when this number was closer to 30,000 than 20,000. I think it can go much higher than that in this big bull run that's coming up. But we'll see. It'll be fun to talk about. So we will watch that. All right, Johnny's got the first AMA question, and that is, what is my car of choice when I retire with Doge? What is my car of choice? So mentioned this the other night on the stream, that ideally, I mean, that, and this would be if Dogecoin like goes to $1, right? And I don't sell any until $1, and I'm like really rich, right? Since I have almost 3 million Dogecoin, and Dogecoin went to $1 and I didn't sell any of it and then sold, it's that Ferrari Portofino. That's my car of choice. It's the Ferrari Portofino. It used to be the California, and it was the 2014 California was like the perfect car, I thought. But they don't make the California anymore. They stopped making them around 2017. And then someone in the chat, because I remembered that they started making a different car that I liked. It's the Portofino. That is the Kriss car of choice. And of course, it would be in yellow, not red. For Doge, I'm not going to wrap it or anything because that just, you can't do that to a Ferrari. But there may be some other Doge paraphernalia on the car somewhere, right? Not a decal or a sticker. Again, you can't do that to a Ferrari. But there may be something. I was going to get a Tesla Model X. But the whole EV thing still is just, I don't know. There's kind of a backlash going on right now against electric vehicles. And we have to see how this all plays out. There may have been, let's say, an overemphasis on everything going electric. And now there seems to be a pullback on that. Also, especially here in Boston, on a really cold winter's day, electric cars don't do so well. They don't do so well. But if you're a multimillionaire, you have a number of cars, right? You don't just have one car. So, so you have something you can take out on a cold winter's day that you don't mind driving, but isn't a Ferrari or a Tesla, right? Yeah, Ryan, but I don't live in Texas. I live in Boston. So my family and all my friends and everyone is up here. One of my old college roommates lives in Arlington, outside of Dallas. Outside of that, I don't know anybody except you guys who live in Texas. Yeah, I've never been a Dodge Viper fan. I don't know, just never been a Dodge Viper fan. All I want is to trade my Doge for a Cybertruck. Doge X wants the Cybertruck. I'm just like, I've seen a couple of them live around here now, and I'm like, it's, I don't know. I don't see myself buying a Cybertruck. Jay's in Dallas. I've been to Dallas many times. Been to Dallas many, many times because one of my buddies lives there. So I visited. And Dallas, fun city. Love Dallas. We went to Arlington Stadium, saw some baseball games. Of course, the Boston Red Sox were in town. So it gives me a good excuse to come down, catch some baseball. Yeah. Love Dallas, big fan. But I'm not moving to Dallas. A Bentley. Yeah, so my former dog that I had was named Bentley. And we always had fun with Bentley cars. And we actually took him to a dealership and got a picture of Bentley the dog sitting next to a Bentley car. They're nice. Bentleys are nice. Americans like the truck. Yeah, but like, if you're like a Ford F-150 guy, you're not buying a Cybertruck. You're not buying a Tesla, right? Even the F-150 electric, it's not selling as well, I think, as people thought, because right now I'm just getting a sense that there's this backlash against electric vehicles going on right now. Maybe they don't think the grid can support it. People don't like sitting there waiting for their cars to charge up when you can just go to the gas station and you're like filled up like that and on the go. So I don't know how that's all going to play out. I don't know how it's going to play out. But yeah, who else has dreams of what car you want to buy with your Doge? Let's say a year from now when Doge is up like at $1 and you had the ability to buy a car with Dogecoin. What would you buy? Now I can buy a Ferrari with Dogecoin because Ferrari actually accepts Dogecoin. So I could do that. I could buy a Ferrari with Dogecoin. So the Portofino, that's my car. And I should Google that, right? Yellow. Because this is exactly what I did. Was I was like, yep, I'm getting one of these. That beautiful car. That's the car right there. A yellow Ferrari Portofino. Beautiful car. And of course, yellow for Doge. And I would have like a Doge thing hanging from the rearview mirror or something, right? And that would be it. But that's the car right there. And Ferrari accepts Dogecoin, and I can pay for that with Doge. I do not have to sell my Dogecoin to buy this car. That's just a nice looking car. Yeah, and there's me standing next to it. I wish. That is just a beautiful car. On the beach. I like that one. I don't know if I'd actually drive a Ferrari onto the beach, but but that is a nice car. Thank you, Johnny. Great choice. Yep. That is nice right there. But we're sitting here at 10.7 cents. A long ways from my dream. Well, I'm also going to buy the real estate too, Ryan. I can do both. If the money gets to a point where I can do both, I'll do both. I just, after seeing the news this morning, and I made this morning's video, just like preparing myself for this crypto run to not be the same as 2021. I'm preparing myself for that. We feel unsafe at gas stations. You know, that is becoming a thing. That's becoming a thing, is where you actually fill up your gas tank. You want it in a safe neighborhood, because there's a lot of videos I'm seeing of that's tough. You're from UK, more limited, most prestigious is a Rolls Royce, but too pretentious. Yeah. Yeah. If you're driving around in a Rolls, yeah, maybe. Ryan just wants the Model 3 or the cheaper model when it comes out. I hear they're making it. Whatever the next thing is, call it the Model 2 for now. What is it going to be? Matt likes the Alpha. The Quadrifoglio. Wow. You bought a 2016 VW GTI Autobahn edition? Nice. A Yugo. The Lamborghini. The 20-cent mark for Doge. Again, that's still my end of the year prediction that I made back in January. And that may be it, depending on how things go. Has the German government finally sold all of their Bitcoin? The state of Saxony, whatever it was, that was selling it? Maybe. Well, yep, think of it like Joe does. 10 cents is a gift for Doge. If we think that's the bottom, then start buying it up. Buying it up. All right, next AMA question. Samuels asks, how did I get into architecture? So, you know, as a kid, right? You dream about like what you want to do, right? Like, I'm going to be a baseball player, or I'm going to be a rock star, or I'm going to be an astronaut. I just had this weird thing. Just had this weird thing about being an architect. People don't know what drives kids to like pick a profession early in their life, but like the houses that we lived in, like I would draw the floor plans, draw all the furniture. Even at like age 10, right? I'm drawing like house designs. And I'm like, I can make this house better, Dad. Can't explain it. And then as I started in high school, and there was drafting classes and things like that, and started looking more at, looking forward to college and what architecture was about, then I got on the whole side of making people's lives better, and how architecture can change people's lives, can do, you know, good for society. I got onto that whole social aspect of the profession of architecture. And then you go to architecture school and you just are like dropped into this world of buildings and design, and it's quite an experience. And that was it. It was really just from being a kid, just with an interest in it. And architecture is all around us. Buildings are all around us, right? You live somewhere, it's a building. Somebody designed it, right? You go to school, you've got your buildings, your university buildings, college buildings. Architects can design good buildings and they can make the world better. And that's what I got into it for, and that's what I do. And it's been a great career as a profession. It just doesn't really pay very well. I mean, it's still considered like white collar, right? So, I'm not out like swinging hammers. I do sit in an office, and I do work with, generally people who have college degrees. I go on to job sites, and I do talk to contractors, and I collaborate with contractors who are the builders. But I'm the architect guy, right? I'm the one with the plans. I'm the one who wears the white, hard hat to make sure it's getting built right. But it doesn't pay a lot. So that's how I got into investing, financial things, which eventually led me into cryptocurrency, is because I need to make up for all that lost time when I really wasn't making a lot of money. In a nutshell, that's kind of how it worked. It's like I started swing trading stocks to kind of get a little bit more ahead. And then it devolved into crypto. And now it's like anti-banks, because the banks are the ones who are stealing all our money. And it's just like, that's not good. And then thinking about like how you can make your life better, because no one's going to do it for you. And this cryptocurrency is an avenue to do that. If you're not dumb about it, and you're not leverage trading, and you're not like chasing all of these celebrity tokens and things like that, right? So having a job is great, gives you a steady income. Normally you get some insurance with it. You get some holidays, so you get some time off, right? Some vacation time. That's good for your family, right? Hopefully they can match paying into like a 401k plan, which I've had, which I've benefited from for years. So I've got a nice 401k plan. So for retirement, I don't have to worry. And everything I'm doing here in crypto is all my fun money, so that we can buy some real nice real estate and then have a very comfortable retirement, because we get a big piece of real estate that's all paid for, and we're not paying the banks. That's my whole plan. Now, if I wasn't an architect, I went into like computer programming and went into all of that stuff instead, maybe I'd already be rich and this wouldn't be a big deal for me. But this is the way my life went, by having I've always had an okay place to live, but it's never been really nice. It's been okay. But now there's a chance to, like, on this crypto thing, to actually maybe become somewhat wealthy, to change my economic standing, which I wouldn't have without it. That's a difference maker. That's a difference maker. So yeah, long-winded story, architect from an early age, played out. I've seen the world, traveled all over, from the pyramids in Giza, Egypt, to the Acropolis in Athens, the Roman Colosseum. Been all over Europe, seeing the old cathedrals, and that's been great. Good question, though. We're doing a little AMA stuff here, guys. A little AMA outside of concentrating entirely all on crypto. Can Germany print more money to buy more Bitcoin so they can pay the Germany national debt? Well, if they weren't able to do a transfer from Saxony to the German government of all of the Bitcoin that Saxony had, why would they do this? Nobody thinks about that, except if you're like in El Salvador. Germany's not going to do that. My favorite thing that I've designed, Ryan asks. So I've had a fortunate career that I've been involved in some really great projects, not only in the country, but around the world. Probably the one project that most people know about that I've been involved with is the Venetian Casino Resort in Las Vegas. I was one of the lead architects for that. Right on the Strip, the former Sands Hotel site, opened in 1999, modeled after Venice. So went to Venice, of course, and studied the old buildings. And so when you stand on the street and you look at the renderings, we can go right here and we can just say, okay, enough of the yellow Ferrari Portofino, which is also very nice. But if we go Venetian Casino Resort and we look at the images, we don't need it to access my location. Nope. And you look at all of this stuff, that was all me. I did all this stuff out front here. The Campanile Tower, the Rialto Bridge, this whole front of the old Venetian Palace. This is a restaurant over here that comes out onto this little patio right there. That was all me. The classic shot. That was all me. Now, someone else did the inside, because the inside there is a casino. There was another architect on the team that did all of the inside stuff. There was another who did the whole retail mall that has a canal running through it in a retail mall where you can go and you can go on gondola rides, stuff like that. I wasn't involved in any of that stuff. I was the outside guy. So I was doing all this stuff on the outside. That was me. Because it was, a multi-billion-dollar project. So I worked with an architecture firm at the time called the Stubbins Associates, and Hugh Stubbins made his career working hand in hand with a guy named Lemessurier, who's a structural engineer, and together they designed the Citicorp Tower in New York City, and that tower wouldn't have existed unless the architect and the structural engineer got along and actually designed together. And so I learned under Hugh Stubbins for part of my career, kind of my mid-career, and that was a theme through all of the buildings, is that structural engineering was so important to the design. Like even looking at like the tower here of the Venetian, that tower is essentially one big piece of structure there. We had to design this tower so that it could be built in about 9 months. time, along with everything else. And you couldn't do that unless you came up with some way to streamline the structural design with all of the parts and pieces that put it all together. And so, yeah, that was me. So that's the project that I worked on that most people have heard of and many have been to and seen, is that. Thanks for asking. The Venetian is great. Yeah, Brian, thanks. Thanks. What is my take on Roman concrete? Hey, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing way back when. We can't make good concrete today like the Romans did. That's for sure. You're the first in your family to get into the market? Yeah, and that's for a lot of us in crypto. This is the first in families, because crypto just tends to be that, like, opens that door to the world of possibilities that the stock market hasn't been able to. And families don't see, a lot of families don't see the stock market as being a way to get ahead in life. But crypto just opens that door. And so a lot of us are the first in our families to really invest, and we're doing it with crypto. Yeah. What do my family members think of Doge? They tolerate me. They tolerate me with this. They know that the rewards will come because I've convinced them of it. So they let me do this. I think they know. And some of them are dabbling a little bit as well. Not because I've told them to, but I think they're seeing it on their own. They're seeing it on their own. The facade of facades. You're right, Zena. Las Vegas is true that. That was the only part of the project that I didn't like, was that it was kind of faking it. Yes. It was all for a facade. Yes. But a lot of the challenges in, like, how do you get a moving sidewalk to go over a bridge? That was a big one that I was challenged with. I don't know if there's a good view of the porte-cochere for the Venetian. I don't see a real good picture of that in this series of charts here. But that was like one of the big challenges that I had was how do you get that to have a moving sidewalk? Because everything in Vegas is like getting people into the casino, right? And so they have these moving sidewalks that all go one way and escalators that only go one way. And that's towards the casino, not away from it. And then, so the entry drive goes under this facsimile of the Rialto Bridge, and we have these moving sidewalks that come over it. And we custom made them with the moving sidewalk company. But yeah, it's all a game to get people into the casino. Robinhood is the first app for regular folks to invest in the stock market, but it's also for crypto as well. Many of us bought our first cryptocurrency with Robinhood as well. Is Tobey Maguire my favorite Spider-Man actor? That's a good question. You're assuming he is, or did I already answer that once? Did I already answer that one? We got to do a new one for that. Tobey Maguire. Spider-Man. Yeah, what is it about Tobey Maguire that made him the better Spider-Man? Maybe they were better movies. I don't know. And maybe it was just kind of maybe this set of Spider-Man movies was they were better written too, I think. But yeah, that's the correct answer, is Tobey Maguire. Not to give anything away, but seeing all the actors all together on the screen at one time in a recent movie was kind of out there. I mean, that was kind of out there. It's the Danny Elfman music. Exactly. Do you know what band Danny Elfman used to be in? There's a trivia question for you. What band was Danny Elfman in? Yeah, he is a rocker. He is a rocker. Nobody remembers. You got to Google it. Got to Google it to look it up. There it is. Ryan gets it. Ryan gets the gold star. Oingo boingo. Who knew that he would go from there to like be like the soundtrack guy, right? But yeah, just listen to the song Dead Man's Party sometime and you'll be like, that was an awesome song. They play it usually just at Halloween now, but yeah, he rocked. Yes, almost. Hi, Lucas. I remember you had to sell your Doge. But thanks for sticking around, though, and hope you're able to buy back in soon. Hope you can buy back in soon. Fuzzball bought some Doge between 5 cents and 16 cents. That's all. Most people have bought between 5 and 16. That's kind of the range that Doge has been in for the past couple of years, except for earlier this spring, pumping up into the 20s, but came right back down. If they've invited you on an NFA with Ben Cohen and Coin Bureau, would you join? Sure. Yeah, I talked to Guy and Ben and Rob and CT or James or any of those guys, but why would they want to talk to a Dogecoin guy? I just sit here in my little corner of the world, YouTube world, and do my thing. And they all have big channels too. I mean, and I get it. And they've been following crypto longer than I have, but are they more real about it? I mean, Guy at Coin Bureau, I mean, the videos that he used to do, I thought were amazing because he'd dive into like each different altcoin project. I mean, that was all good stuff, and he doesn't do that as much anymore. He's a little more of a personality now. And he's got a bigger team now with Jessica and others. And but I mean, his is such a big channel now. And Ben is of course, all about Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance. And I thought Ben was slow in deploying cash in 2023. And we talked about it on this channel because a lot of his videos, he had a lot of cash on the sidelines as Bitcoin went from, 16K to 26K to 30K. And he just thought it was all going to just go right back down. He didn't believe in that early 2023 rise in the price of Bitcoin. And we talked about it. And I was just like, Ben's wrong. He had way too much cash on the side where I was buying. And then in, last summer, that's when I put this whole DCA portfolio together. And he still had cash on the side. And I'm just like, I'm buying. I bought all this Jasmy at 0.003 and Bitcoin at 26K and ETH at 1600. And so I don't know why he was like, had all that cash on the side. But I think his analysis videos are good. He gives good information, but it's just so Bitcoin centric. And I think that the whole crypto market has changed since then. There is more investment going on in blockchain technology. I mean, look at the growth in Solana, and of course, ETH is going to have its own ETF now coming, maybe next week. It's like, that's huge. That's huge. Is it pizza time, Ryan? Pizza time. Well, thanks. I'm glad to be back. What are my plans right now? What are your limits for buy-in? I won't have any more cash to put in for another 2 weeks or a week and a half for this month. So I've got no cash on the sidelines right now. I did move some of my stocks around the other week. I sold off some of my laggards and bought into MicroStrategy, and I bought 4 shares of MicroStrategy. So I now have four MicroStrategy shares. And that was last week. And this week they announced they're going to do a stock split. Yes, MicroStrategy is going to do a stock split. A 10-to-1 stock split at the end of the month. So my 4 shares are going to become 40 shares. And instead of $1,400, the price is going to change to $140, thereabouts, let's say. So it's going to be a 10-to-1 stock split. And so my 4 shares of MicroStrategy are going to become 40 shares. And I'm already up. I'm already up on my MicroStrategy. I just thought this would be a fun play on the stock side. If Bitcoin goes on a crazy run, MicroStrategy will too. So I'm doing a little bit of stocks. I have my Tesla stock, and you guys have all heard about that. And then I just have a couple more small cap stocks. Like I still have this Magic Empire stuff, just waiting to see if something happens with it or it just completely dies. But if you guys are interested in a penny stock, it's like, this is one that just, who knows? Meggle, the Magic Empire Global, it's some Chinese thing. And I still have some Jivo, again, a penny stock again, back to 62 cents. Who knows if Jivo will go on another run. And then I've got some GME, some Apple, and then everything else is Tesla. But that's on the stock market side. I'm not buying anything else. I was just getting out of some older plays. Like I still had this XPeng Chinese auto, and I got out of that to get into MicroStrategy. So for what I'm going to buy next, I mean, come the 22nd, 23rd of July, where's the price of Doge going to be? Is it still going to be around 10 cents? I'll buy more Doge. But are we going to have an ETH ETF next week and we're going to have a little pump in prices? Then we'll see. I'll see if maybe there's a pullback on ETH after it initially starts. Is there going to be some big ETH like futures, like Grayscale selling, and the price is going to drop down? Maybe I pick up some ETH. I don't know. But that's kind of what I'm looking at. Yeah, a 10-to-1 real stock split for MicroStrategy. And I can see why people would say like $1,000 to buy one share of stock, right? That's out of my price range. So if it's down to $100, $140, there's a lot of people who just think it's so overvalued. For them to do a stock split is ridiculous. But hey, people are buying it. And Michael Saylor and his MicroStrategy company have a crap ton of Bitcoin and are in billions of dollars of profit on it. And if Bitcoin is going to go on a big run, MicroStrategy is just going to be in huge profit. So I don't know yet. A couple weeks from now when I'm buying again, get a little more money for buying something. We'll see what's going on. It could be just be more Doge at 10 cents. You're trying to work out what your profit is going to be when you get to $1. Oh, I see. So you've got this up here. Yeah, if you bought it all on Robinhood, then Robinhood will show you what your average price is. If you've bought it in a couple different places, then just throw a spreadsheet together and figure out what your average cost is. Multiply that by $1. Your number of shares by $1, or your number of coins by $1. How many coins do you own total? If you own 10,000 coins, Dogecoin goes to $1, you'll have $10,000. Jason will be a millionaire. He's got 1 million coins now. If you want to work out what your profit is, then you've got to have a spreadsheet together that shows what your average cost is. So you know what your average buy-in was. And your profit will be the difference. 167,000 coins. Yeah. So what's your average, total average of all the coins? What's your average price? Jag's looking at 25 cents. Are you going to take some profits at 25? That's why you're looking at that, Jag? Yeah, so if your average is 11.23 and then it goes to $1, right? That's 88 cents a profit, right? So you just take 11.1123 times your 167,000, right? We can do that real quick to get your profit if Dogecoin goes to $1. 167 times 0.1123. Yeah, 18,754. That's your investment cost. Subtract 167,000, because that's going to be, again, if Doge goes to $1, then your profit will be 148,000 $245. There's your profit. Webblades, how are you? Could you comment briefly on your experiences with Webull? I'm considering switching my intraday SPY options work from Robinhood. Been using Webull for instrumentation only for a few years. So on Webull, yeah, you're welcome, Fuzzball. On Webull, I used to do both stock and crypto trading on Webull. And I used to be an affiliate with Webull and all of that. And then they announced they were going to not be having crypto on their main trading platform, and they were going to start this Webull Pay, and they were going to move crypto over there. To me, that just seemed like they were playing some games to get around some SEC regulations or something, and that put a little fear into me being able to trust them as a crypto exchange. And you could not transfer your crypto off of Webull. So I sold the crypto that I had on Webull and bought Tesla stock with it. That's what I was buying, Tesla stock. But I did sell the crypto that I had, and I just bought Tesla stock. So I own a bunch of Tesla stock. I do not do any options trading. It's all just spot, bought, and holding for long. So I don't know anything else. I know the Webull, I mean, they have good charts. And I really like their, the stock charts that they have here. So I pay the $1 a month or whatever it is in order to have the order book here, the level 2 order book, because I use this all the time, looking at how stocks are trading. And so this is a Webull thing, and I love it. I think it's great. But I only use it for stocks and not crypto. Yes, you can track like the Dogecoin chart on this as well. I don't use it for that. And I don't trade any crypto on Webull. But for the stock charts, and especially to see the trading here, what's the bid, what's the ask, what's the volume of trading that's going on, these charts are great. And I use these for Webull. But I do not do any options trading or anything like that. Again, it's just with Tesla stock too. It's like it's still so heavily shorted that, again, it's just, let's see if the price appreciation can just squeeze out those shorts, and then price could end up going even higher. Maybe I'll sell some for a profit at some point in time, but my average price is like 116, and here it is at 248. So I'm in a good profit on my Tesla stock. You're welcome. I find it odd I can't look at crypto volumes on Webull because there's no trading. There's no trading. And Webull was never an exchange in the first place. They just copied over someone else's exchange to make it look like there was trading on the platform, but you weren't actually buying crypto when you bought on Webull. You did not own the crypto. You were not buying crypto. You were buying a price. And so there was no real crypto volume. Any trading that happened on Webull in crypto did not have any effect on the price overall of the coin. First, there wasn't enough volume happening on Webull for crypto trading to make any difference in price. But second, it wasn't an exchange. There was no exchange there. It wasn't like Binance or Coinbase that have real exchanges. Weebles was not that. You were just buying a price, betting on whether it would go higher or lower. You didn't own the coins. You couldn't transfer them. You couldn't do anything with it. That was Weeble crypto. But Weeble stocks, they're real. I own this Tesla stock. So Weeble's great for that, but not for crypto. What do I think about Cardano? So Brochetta, we looked at earlier in the stream at the crypto top 10. And here's Cardano number 10. And for those that were with me here a week ago on Friday, I forecasted that Cardano was going to overtake Dogecoin in the coming months. Yes, Cardano is going to pass Dogecoin. And you guys who are big Doge lovers didn't like that. But I am a realist. And I'm like, I can see what's happening with Cardano. I can see the development happening. And I know it's been slow. I mean, like, look what happened to Solana, right? Just Solana was behind Cardano and just passed it and just grew huge. And Cardano just sat there. Well, Cardano is going to have its turn. And I think Cardano is going to go on a run. It's probably not going to be the same kind of run that Solana did, because it just doesn't have the kind of the VC backing, and it doesn't have a whole slew of memes being built on it like Solana ended up having. So yeah, I think Cardano is going to actually pass Dogecoin. So we'll watch that. We'll see if that happens, but that's a Kriss Pack's only prediction. Nobody else has been predicting that, except maybe the Crow guy, right, who's all Cardano. He's probably said it. I don't watch him, but I know of him, and he's probably said it. Thanks, Fire Legend. Appreciate it. Hanging in there. This stream is taxing on me. I can feel it. Going for 2 hours now, but doing all right. So better buy Dogecoin and Cardano? Yeah. I mean, Cardano's up 17% now over the past 7 days. So buying Cardano a week ago would have been the time to get some. Just watch it and see if there's a dip. But when Dogecoin goes on its big run, which at some point it's going to pass everything. And it'll be up here at Solana level. Cardano can't do that. Cardano's not going to go on a huge run like Dogecoin can. But yeah, if you own both, hedging your bets, right? But yeah, Cardano has been trading better here for the past week. We can just zoom out and you can see the run that it's been on. That's pretty good. When Doge has been sideways, up and down. Every time it starts going on a run, it just comes right back down. Every time. Up, down, up, down. And even today, up, and now it's coming back down. And I hope it doesn't go back as low as it was. See if we hold 10.5. I don't want to revisit that. Although I know there's still some of you that want to buy a little bit lower, but I just want to get this thing going. Enough dips. Let's just go. Let's just go. Did I have a fever at all? Yeah. Bad. Off and on. Off and on fever. Not good. Yeah. It was a nasty virus of some sort. The body's amazing, though, how it can fight it off. But yeah. All right, gang, that's what we got for today. Look, thanks for joining in on the live stream. We still have some pain ahead. Yes, still painful. I know. We got to get through the summer. And I'm still predicting the fall to be the start of the big bull run for this cycle. So we got to be patient, get through, still accumulation period. Will there be more dips? Most likely. How deep? I don't know. Depends on the crazy leverage trading. Are we going to have some kind of black swan event? Is there going to be more selling of something else that's going to come up? I don't know. We'll see. But overall, yeah, it's buy time. Exactly, Bruschetta. Buy time. But I'll be live again on Monday, 4 o'clock. Join me then. Till then, have a video coming out over the weekend. And then hopefully we turn this thing around and we get going. So hope you all are well. We'll see you next time.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.